Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I figured I want to talk about things that make me happy, and what makes me happy is fall makeup. I love the fall time, I love the colors. I've been really into burgundy shades, red shades, and I have some makeup products that I think are really nice for this time of the year. I mean for every season, but especially for your fall wardrobe. I feel like these colors look just so pretty. I have some of them on my face right now. As I go along, I'll tell you what I have on my face. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about some makeup products that I really like to use this time of the year. If you want to know what some of my, I guess, favorite fall-esque makeup products are, then just keep watching. I will go kind of in order as to how I would apply them to my face, but I don't have a product for each category because there's not really a fall time powder or fall time concealer. Things that just tend to be the same will not be mentioned, so just so you know. So I wanted to start with bronzer, and I feel like everyone online has been raving about the NYX Buttermelt bronzers and blushes. I have definitely learned for myself in the last couple of weeks that I don't really like to jump on the bandwagon of trendy makeup and everyone talking so highly of things. If I see something that I think looks interesting, but I don't just go out and buy stuff because I saw like 5 TikTokers or Instagrammers talking about a product. I just hate, and I know hate is a strong word, I just don't like how people are like,
oh my god, this is the best thing ever. Oh my god, you have to have this, life-changing, la la la.
Can we just chill? It's just makeup, okay? I am passionate about products, I'm passionate about makeup, but it's just flippin' makeup at the end of the day. So I don't get why some people get so overexcited. Anyways, this bronzer formula is really nice. It's buttery and smooth. It's a powder bronzer. So why am I mentioning it to you? It's because of the shade 02 All Butted Up, and it is more of like a rosy toned bronzer. I have it on right now and I feel like it complements my skin tone so well. It is very blendable, it is very buttery. It's comparable to the Physicians Formula Butter bronzer in terms of the soft texture, so it is really nice. I just don't want to be sitting here and being like, this bronzer will change your life. It's a good staple powder formula in my opinion. It's nice and creamy and it smells divine. That I have to say. It smells very sweet, it's very fragrant, so if that's something that you don't like, skip it. But the color, I feel like it's fantastic. I want to compare this color to another bronzer that I have that I also really enjoy. This is the REM Beauty bronzer in the shade Solar Storm, and you'll definitely see the tone difference. See, this is like so like yellow toned orange, and this next to the bronzer from REM almost looks like a blush. I don't know. So it really depends on the day. I also really enjoy this one during this fall time where I wear maybe a bit more of a warmer brown wardrobe. I like to make everything flow together, so I like both of these, so I just want to compare the shades. This one definitely has a sheen to it. This is completely matte, and I feel like this is a little thinner in texture. They're both really good powder formulas, but I wanted to mention this specifically because of the tone. I feel like there are not as many rosy toned bronzers out there, especially for those of us who are more cool toned, more fair. A bronzer like this one will maybe not always fit our look or aesthetic, whatever it is. So I like that NYX actually came out with something that is a bit more pink. I can definitely see that is way more rosy toned than other bronzers. I like how it looks. I feel like it looks very natural, very easy to blend again, and yeah, it's just a really nice bronzer. So I wanted to mention it because this tone, I feel like for the fall time, it's just very warm, but not orangey warm. I don't know. I feel like it's just a really nice color. And yeah, it's nice that it has a good formula as well. On the same page, also the Buttermelt blush, and I wanted this color specifically and only this color. Just by the packaging you can tell why I picked it, because it is so fall time appropriate, I feel. This is in the shade 10, Back and Butta. It is a deep rosewood, and this color is deep. This is really dark and it is pigmented. This is so pigmented. I have to dip the tiniest bit into the pan. And then I even have to put it on the back of my hand or a little bit on like a paper towel before I go in and blend this out. This is really potent. I was not expecting it. I love the color. It screams fall to me. It's perfect for the winter time as well. And since it is again that creamy powder formula with a little bit of a sheen, it's not completely matte. It's kind of like a very subdued satin matte. I feel like your cheeks are still going to look very alive and fresh without being like chalk matte. So I really like the finish of it in combination with the formula, but it's just super pigmented. You have to be so careful, but I love the color. It's stunning. I really wanted a blush in this shade, so I'm glad that there is a drugstore option that goes into this type of color. So if you're looking for something kind of like red tones, this is so nice. Just keep in mind that it is pretty pigmented. I have it on right now very lightly on top of another blush that I'll mention next. On its own, absolutely potent enough. You don't have to use this on top of anything else. I have a little bit of the NYX blush, but what I have the most on my cheeks is the Essence Baby Got blush stick in the shade Cherry Baby. I mentioned this in my last video because it has been one of my favorites. It's very deep, like a black deep cherry, and it just looks kind of like purplish. Yeah, it's just like a black cherry. It has a lot of cool tones in it. It just looks like a most natural flush. It's a very nice formula that is really just in the middle. It's not overly matte. It's not overly glowy. I like the ease of using it. I never swipe it on, gosh no, because this is pretty pigmented as well. Like, let me just give you a quick swatch. This is what it looks like. As you can see in the stick itself, it looks even more blackish. It looks a lot deeper. It's like a true purpley black cherry type of shade. This is the NYX blush, by the way. It looks so warm toned next to the Essence blush, and I feel like it doesn't look as warm on my cheeks. And next to the Essence one, it just looks a little bit more warm toned, but just in case you were wondering what the NYX one looks like next to this one. So yeah, but as you can see, it's like that perfect fall tone, like both of them. So if you're looking for a stick blush that is easy to apply and has a beautiful dark cherry color, this one from Essence is so inexpensive and it'll probably give you the perfect fall time cheeks. I have mostly blushes, I feel like. This is another cream blush. I've had this in my collection for a little bit. This is the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Blush in the shade Saint Barts, and again, it is kind of like that berry mauve-y color. There's not that much of a different way to describe this shade. It has a little bit of a sheen to it. So if, let's say, the Essence one looks a little bit too purple and dark, maybe this one from e.l.f. is a little bit more subdued. This is what the e.l.f. one looks like. To me, it seems to be the more softer version of the Essence blush. I can still justify having both because I'm not able to build this one up to this depth. So it's nice to have one that is pretty deep and another one that will give me this type of color without going too dark. This is what that one looks like, but it definitely is different because it has a sheen running throughout it, which the Essence one doesn't have. And yeah, I really like these e.l.f. blushes. I only have this one currently, but I've had two others in the past and I've always really enjoyed them because they're very soft, they're easy to blend onto the skin. I've always used my finger. They have a cream to powder finish and they will give you all you need. And St. Barts especially is a color I wanted for the longest time because I wanted something that looked like summertime wine from Fenty. It's a cream blush that I have and it just looked very similar, but I was not willing to spend that much, which is why I got St. Barts, and I am very happy. I feel like it gives me the effect that I think summertime wine would give me. It's just like that again, berry kind of shade. Then last for blush, I know I have a lot of blushes because I feel like that's where the true magic happens. Like, I'm not someone who will make my eyes look very crazy and colorful. I love to use fall type of colors on my cheeks and lips, so I have the most in the cheek category for sure. So lastly, this is the liquid blush from Essence, the Baby Got Blush. It has the same name as the stick, but this is just a liquid form. This is in the shade 20 Blushin' Berry. I have it in two other shades, but this is the shade that really spoke to me. This is what that one looks like. Again, a berry shade. They're all pretty similar. On their cheek, they're not really going to be so different that people will tell if you have this blush on or that blush on. They're all very similar, but I feel like they're different enough for me to recommend them to you, and I guess you can pick and choose which tone and texture you like the most. This one is really nice as well. It's easy to blend. It's a lightweight liquid formula. It's pretty fuss-free. There's not much you can do wrong with it. I feel like the pigment is also pretty nice on these. It's not too much or too little. I always just apply a little bit, blend it out with my fingers. I love this color, especially when I want that sunburned look, because it has a little bit of warmth in it. It's more of like a warm berry, I would say, compared to the Essence stick, for instance, but it looks very similar to the NYX one in terms of shade. It's more of like a glowy liquid blush, by the way. It's not like a dry as matte. It's a natural finish, I would say. The only eye makeup product that I have, I also mentioned this in my last video, I feel like this is such a beautiful shade for the fall time because it's smoky, but not too much. It's just the perfect shade in my opinion, perfect bronzy taupe. This is a cream shadow from Maybelline. It's the Color Tattoo 24-hour cream shadow in the shade On and On Bronze. I don't find this is too much of a warm bronze. That's why I say it's kind of like a taupey bronze. It's beautiful all over the lid, only in the outer corners for a little bit of a smoldering effect. It's just a really nice shadow. I've loved this for years. I just repurchased it a couple of weeks ago and I've been just so happy to have it. So I really don't change my eye makeup that much, but this has been really special and I've been really liking it, which is why I wanted to mention it. Other than that, I don't really have any eye recommendations. I just don't, because I use more neutral tones anyways, but this is really nice. Again, cheeks and lips are the categories that I feel like I can do the most with in terms of like fall-esque makeup. So first I wanted to give you a little just recommendation for glossy, hydrated feeling lips without actual color to it. It's the Super Peptide Glossy Lip Treatment from Essence. It's glossy, it's hydrating, feels very nourishing and kind of thick but not sticky thick. So if you're looking for something on the go to throw in your purse when you feel like you have dry feeling lips, this is really nice to have. But in terms of color makeup, I have 3 lip liners that I really like for this time. Actually, it's 4. I love the NYX lip liner in the shade Mauve. I lost it. I have never in my life lost a makeup product, but that lip liner grew some legs and I lost it. I don't know where it is. I feel like my purse was open one time, flipped over in the car, and I don't know, the lip liner is gone. But just so you know, the NYX lip liner in Mauve is a beautiful color for this time as well. Something comparable is the NYX lip liner in the shade Mahogany. This I have on right now very lightly because it is a darker color that you can definitely make look more intense. Here it is on my hand. Cherry Coke color isn't too purple or too red. It's really, once you swatch it on your hand and you look at it, it's a brown red kind of shade. I really like this formula anyways. Like, I have so many NYX lip liner colors. I love this original pencil formula because it isn't overly creamy, and because of that I can really build the color the way I want it to look. I like something that isn't overly creamy that I'm able to build up to my desired look. So that is why I love the NYX lip liners. One that falls into the category of super creamy, super pigmented is the BH Cosmetics Download lip liner, and this is in the shade Disclosure. It's a mauve lip liner. This is really, oh my god, this is one swipe. This was one swipe. The NYX one, I went like back and forth. This is one swipe. Really creamy, and this is one of those lip liners that I just don't grab on an everyday basis because it's just so hard to control because it is so creamy and pigmented, which can have its time and place, but it's not for every day in my opinion. I always have to blend it out pretty well with my finger. When I do that, I love it, but it's just not the easiest for me personally to use. If that sounds like something you're looking for, this is beautiful. Like, don't get me wrong, it's just that for an everyday, I like something that I can manipulate a little bit more, and it's not like the lip liner is controlling me because it is so pigmented and creamy. It's super inexpensive. Very cute packaging as well. So yeah, this is another shade I think is stunning. And another one that I like, and I feel like this is the perfect in-between from the NYX and the BH one in terms of creaminess, color, payoff, formula type of thing, is the L'Oreal Le Lip Liner. I have the shade Crystal Cappuccino, which is also kind of red toned, but it's definitely the lightest out of them all. And you see it at the side. This is creamy, but it isn't overly in your face. I really like this shade. It's a little bit more red, and then you use like a clear lip gloss, kind of mix it together, and it just looks stunning. It's just so pretty. I have a get ready with me where I actually put it on, and if you want to watch that, it's up here. It's just very fall time appropriate in my opinion. And last but not least, some lip oils. These are both the Glow Reviver lip oil from e.l.f. I recently got a new shade that I'm absolutely in love with. I had Honey Talks in my collection, the perfect everyday nude shade that flatters probably everyone because it doesn't have like a white base to it. Has a little bit, just like a little bit of a minty sensation, but not over the top. So if you're someone who isn't into minty lip products, don't be afraid of these. I don't think that these are anywhere near comparable to other minty lip products I've used. Other ones tend to be pretty strong. So this one I feel like is pretty subdued. It's not going to look like that on your lips because it is quite sheer, which is why I would recommend for you to go with the more strong colored shades when you go for these. Like the clear one, the rose quartz, coral fixation, those three shades, they all look so clear. I don't really think it makes sense to have them like all three of them, but these more deeper colors like Red Delicious, Honey Talks, and this one, Jam Session, is my current obsession. Cherry tone to it without being too purple. I thought that this was going to look very berry, but it actually just looks like a black cherry, and that is absolutely the color that I was looking for. Black cherry is like the color for me this fall. Burgundy and black cherry are everything I'm looking for. So this color is so beautiful. I have it on right now, but I feel like after talking, it has worn off a little bit. So let me reapply that actually. As you can see, it's still not too much. It's still translucent, it's still sheer. So this is perfect for every day. It's definitely going to be a little bit more colorful, I guess, than other lip oils because it is a little bit deeper in shade, but don't be intimidated by how they look in the actual container because they are sheer. I love also how they feel. They're very light and very balmy. Again, slightly minty, but not too much. So with that, you guys, we finished today's video. As you can see, even with drugstore makeup, you can absolutely get this type of color, look, aesthetic, whatever it is. If you're looking for this like fall time makeup look, if you're just looking for these types of tones, you don't have to run to Sephora and spend so much money. You just really don't. The drugstore is really good at doing amazing makeup, and I love drugstore makeup. Like, I know I mentioned this bronzer, but it wasn't part of this video anyways. It was just to compare the shades. I hope that this video was helpful to bring some of these products onto your radar if you have been looking for these tones and you don't want to spend too much money. I really hope that this was helpful for you. If it was helpful, let me know by giving me a thumbs up, letting me know down in the comments what you think of these. Maybe you have some recommendations as well. I just really hope that you had fun. See you very soon with a new video. Until then, take care, enjoy the fall time. Hope you have a good one, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!